One question quickly. Diaz was going off about something about how he's expecting a suspension.
It's because probably what he did to the camera or what he was like the smack talk he was doing after.
Funny thing is, everybody was clueless about it. No one.
Man, I crack up during his interviews, man.
That Hawani interview after
that was awesome.
Oh,
that was awesome.
That was funny.
Oh man,
the yellow cards.
Yeah.
Well, the one after the.
No, I'm talking about the one before.
Yeah. The one after was pretty good too. He's like, they're trying to suspend me out here. He's like, what? Why?
I saw one of the comments where it looks like somebody was saying he looks like people are out to get him and stuff. He's looking everywhere. He just keeps looking away.
All right. So what's next?
Okay. Diaz? Next for Diaz, I really don't know. They're saying Tyron Woodley was sitting in the stands with the "I Got Next" shirt on.
I don't know that from going from Daley and past competitors to Tyron. I think you got to build Woodley up. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Coco was saying Woodley probably has 1 or 2 more fights before he would get a shot at Diaz.
I agree.
But like other than that, in the welterweight division,
some unification bouts or some super
probably.
fights.
But the only thing is, it probably depends on what happens with GSP and Shields. Because Diaz already said he doesn't want to fight Shields, and that's a really close camp by the looks of it. You know what I mean? And
dominant camp.
I wouldn't be surprised if like Cyborg got a rematch.
But either way, you got to look at they got Nate Diaz, Jake Shields, and Nick Diaz all in the same division.
Maybe Nick should consider bumping up to 185.
Is that too big for him though?
That might be a little.
No, he could put on some muscle. He's really skinny at 170. He just needs to bulk up a bit.
That's how they fight. That's how they are. Like they're like skinny and
15 pounds. He doesn't necessarily even have to gain 15 pounds.
I think he would get overpowered at middleweight.
Yeah, I think he'd
get overpowered at middleweight,
perhaps.
But
he could still get overpowered at welterweight. Man, he's not the strongest welterweight.
He's not the strongest welterweight.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right, so talking about what we were before, the polls, and they actually had a poll on Showtime during the show. Would you want to see Strikeforce fighters facing UFC fighters? And the poll was 96% yes and a 4% of what was it, margin of error?
4% no with the 4% margin of error.
The 4% margin of error. I don't even know where this figure had to come into play.
Whoever those 4% people were, like
who said no,
exactly.
Seriously?
They need to get slapped.
I think it was like a
something.
UFC setup, so they just like
they
don't have to rush the process. They just
it was probably like Dana White.
And Dana always says he wants to give the fans what they want. And after seeing that poll, a 96%,
the super fights are coming. They're coming.
It seemed like this card right away was pushing towards these potential super fights down the road and this whole merger. They were really kind of...
Coker wants it.
Coker wants it, yeah. And seeing Dana there with that Strikeforce shirt on, I was rubbing my eyes. That was kind of like... I don't want to use wrestling in here, but seeing Bischoff in WWE hugging Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that was
Dana with a Strikeforce shirt on, ringside at Strikeforce. But they're just pushing towards these potential super fights down the road. And already, you're going to show that on TV, 96% to 4.
Yeah, who is it? Scott Coker already mentioned like fights that you want to see: Cain Velasquez, Overeem, Nick Diaz, GSP, Jacare against Anderson Silva. Just fights like that he's already calling out that he wants to see.
You guys think that,
minus the last one?
Yeah, I would
Anderson
the last one. Maybe build up Jacare in the UFC division a little bit more. See if he's actually at that level to be even considered fighting Anderson Silva.
Put him in there against. I think he would have a tough time against Marquardt because Marquardt's got really good striking, right, and he's powerful.
Sorry, back to the original thing just quickly. This past year, at the beginning of the new year, we've seen the whole WC merger. You think there's a possibility at the end of this year, beginning of next year,
there's the whole Showtime deal that seems to be the problem.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But what's really stopping them from playing?
There's nothing
like a
stopping
promotion.
There's nothing stopping them from just moving fighters over, though.
Yeah,
there should be like a joint venture they can possibly
like how they do
something they can do in the contracts.
It's like how they have the M1 Global Strikeforce type of thing. They could have a UFC Strikeforce event or something. And we were even talking about this in the car before, like a whole night dedicated to unifying the titles.
Yeah, just unification title belts. Yeah, I mean, the whole main card would be 5 title belts.
That's the perfect card to put at the Cowboy Stadium. Perfect card.
Perfect, yeah.
But I doubt it would ever happen.
Yeah, that's the whole long shot because it's so many factors coming into play.
Yeah, it would be a dream come true. That would be a fantasy card in my eyes.
10 champions on the main card.
There's so many possibilities now with the Strikeforce and UFC merging. So many opportunities for dream fights.
They should take advantage of it. It's hot now. People want to see it. It's going to be good for the sport.
During the show. They actually announced 2 fights are going to be on the June 18th card, which is headlined by the Strikeforce GP.
I like these fights.
The Strikeforce GP already has the Overeem and Verdum fight, and Brett Rogers and Josh Barnett. 2 more fights that they added, heavyweight fights. These were actually the reserves that they're going to put in, except Daniel Cormier was in the reserve before. They only had 3 reserves. So it's Daniel Cormier taking on Shane Del Rosario, and Valentin Overeem taking on Chad Griggs. Gina Carano is expected to fight at that event too, but no fighter has been named yet. They said they'll know by at least next week.
I'm actually pretty sure Cormier was a reserve.
He wasn't a reserve.
No, he was a reserve for the original April 9th card when it was supposed to have the heavyweight Grand Prix fights there.
They only had 3 reserves. And
was it?
There's 3 fights in the prelims of that. No, sorry, not the prelims.
The other main card, yeah.
The other main card.
Okay, maybe I was wrong.
Yep.
But I'm that's going down in those 2 fights.
Yeah, that's going down June 18th. That's going to be a huge card. I'm really amped for that card.
Oh man, I'm so disappointed I have to wait another 2 months to watch Overeem fight.
But hey, I'm satisfied the fact that they put on such a good card last night to carry us on over her. Sure, we still got April 30th. That big show going down.
Yeah.
And May, we got the Ultimate Fighter finale coming up after April 30th.
That's in June.
Yep. Oh, sorry. 1:30, then the finale.
131. 132 is stacked. For those who haven't seen that card, check it out.
And hey, Bellator even coming up too. For the next 2-3 weeks, there's Bellator cards coming out. So
yeah, there's a lot of MMA happening this summer.
There was actually a card last night. Ben Askren was headlining it,
with
facing
Lyman Good.
Lyman Good. It was.
Yeah, I never saw. I never checked this card.
It was actually Josh Thompson.
Nick Thompson.
Nick Thompson. Yeah. I keep getting those names mixed up. So Ben Askren grinds out the unanimous decision there.
This seems to just be like what he does.
Yeah, I did not get to see that fight because, well,
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen Ben Askren fight, but from what I heard, he just uses his wrestling to grind people out.
He managed to get a 30-26 score from one of the judges.
He's just John Fitching people in Bellator. In the welterweight division. There's
2 more fights on that card. One was the welterweight semifinal. This winner would actually face I forgot the guy's name.
Patrick E.
No, that's the lightweight card.
Oh, sorry.
I just seen this fight. Rick Hahn. The winner will face Rick Hahn, and Jay Heron actually took this by unanimous decision, 29-28 throughout the scorecards, defeating Brent Weidman. And the lightweight semifinal belt, Michael Chandler actually defeated Lloyd Woodard, and he's going to be taking on Patricky Pitbull for the finals of the lightweight tournament. Are you guys even, interested in this Bellator tournament that they have going on?
It's not that we're not interested. It just kind of gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah,
I know there's good fighters out there, and it's getting lost in the shuffle. Like, I am gonna make it a priority to check it out. Yeah, to check it out. I know the dudes. I know the fights. I just don't get a chance to see the fights.
I have seen Patricky Pitbull's both of his fights, and man, he looks impressive. He looks like a prospect coming out of that division.
For Bellator, like, they're running the tournament, and it is kind of getting lost in the shuffle with, Strikeforce has a tournament going on too. But the tournament idea is always very nice to have around, just to keep everything fresh in the mix. You never know who could be fighting who.
That's why I really like the Bellator, theme that they have. They have their slogan.
Shot.
Their slogan is called "Title shots are earned, not given."
Just win a tournament, we'll give you a title shot.
Yeah, that's why they have champions like Joe Warren fighting, Ben Askren fighting, but they're non-title belts.
Yeah.
Like Ben Askren fought a 3-round fight last night because it wasn't a title fight. Next week we got Joe Warren, I believe he's the bantamweight champion. Yeah, sorry, the featherweight champion, taking on Marcos Galvao. At a catch rate of 137. So it's not a title fight. He's just fighting because they want to put him in action. They have the featherweight tournament semifinal fights that event too, which is next week, Bellator 41. So you guys can check that out. Also, April 23rd, they have Cole Conrad, their first ever heavyweight champion, taking on UFC vet Paul Buentello. which is going to be a huge fight.
Is that a non-title fight as well, I think?
Yeah,
right?
that's a non-title fight. Also, they have Richard Hale, the man who pulled off the inverted triangle, taking on DJ Linderman in the light heavyweight semifinal belt too. So they got a lot of fights coming out of Bellator over there. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break and we'll get into some more news for you guys.